the March Q&A, which is part of our pattern, our new pattern, the fourth episode of a month, in which, most months only have the 4 episodes. Due to miscalculation on my part, there are
leap years and
5 Wednesdays,
daylight savings
in March. And so we'll be doing another episode next week that's about something. And we're actually just having a conversation about that now. But this is a Q&A.
Leaning towards media.
We got A's. Yeah, leaning towards media. You got Q's. We got A's.
Should we start with some quick hitters? We got a lot of questions.
Sure.
Favorite Lord of the Rings character? I feel like you're into like sci-fi and all this stuff, but I've never really heard you dig into Lord of the Rings. Is that not in your tops?
Oh, it is definitely in my tops. Actually, I heard something weird about this the other day. That I knew that they at the very last minute changed the casting on Aragorn. They fired the first guy and they brought in
what's his name? Mortensen?
Viggo Mortensen. At the very last minute, he had like no time to train or whatever. Somehow he picked up the sword shit though. Like there's been a few actors that had to do that kind of stuff that got way into it. Ewan McGregor for the Star Wars movies got way into the whole lightsaber battle thing. It was just fun for him.
Keanu's supposed to be an absolute savage.
Now, if you see him in oh my God, Johnny Mnemonic, Wet Wired Brain, there's a bunch of fighting in that one, and he's terrible. But they put nothing into it at all.
Yeah, he's supposed to be deep into it. Don't quote me on this, but I think my sister's boyfriend's brother, cousin, relative.
I'm definitely not going to quote you on that.
Is a professional driver and retired. And he now has a place somewhere in like Palm Springs or something, and he's basically part of like the Mercedes-Benz team or something like that. Yeah. Keanu goes out there like every weekend and learns tactics from him fucking fly around in his whips. Obviously, and I've seen similar things on YouTube with the guy who practices or shows him guns and like cool reloads and how to do all this fancy stuff, which I do. I'm into cars, but I'm not into like driving fast because I don't want to get a ticket or die. I'm into guns, but I'm not like Mr. Shoot 'em up. But I do
of guns.
Yeah, well, I just highly respect that someone takes their craft seriously, regardless of what it is, and so I think that's cool.
Coolest reload is actually Henry Cavill in the Mission Impossible movie that he did when he had the mustache.
Never saw it.
Oh, you didn't see it? Oh my God.
I don't think I've seen any Mission Impossible. Talking about movies I've never seen.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of them.
We need to fix that.
I don't really like Tommy, Mr. Cruise.
Oh.
Yeah. Just very punchable face. Well, turn him on the screen. I don't really want to look at him.
See, I had been a longtime fan, and I did not love him in. I didn't love him in the first Mission Impossible movie because I thought that movie sucked.
Yeah.
They don't really start getting good until like 3 or 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But anyway,
what's the other one? Top Gun.
Top Gun.
Never seen it.
Really?
Yeah, I heard it's sick.
Oh.
Yeah, I've heard I'd actually like that one.
Henry Cavill, though, in the Mission Impossible movie that he was filming after the principal photography for the original version of Justice League was done, I got an issue with the name of that movie too. Anyway,
Justice League.
Yeah, like he comes in from an explosion or whatever during a fight, and he does this thing where he's like reloading his arms. It's very odd.
Interesting,
but cool at the same time.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Oh, okay. Favorite Lord of the Rings. Oh. Backing up, the digressions are strong in this episode already.
That's Q&As. You bounce.
Yeah,
you bounce.
Simon something or another, the guy who played, speaking of Tom Cruise, he played the vampire Lestat in the sequel to Interview with the Vampire.
Never seen that either.
Simon Campbell.
Okay.
He was supposed to be Aragorn.
Oh.
And you're like, some of the producers are like, yeah, we made a mistake. We should have kept him in because he like is 20 years younger than Viggo Mortensen. Viggo Mortensen is old now and looks it. Like, he looks like he's about to go to the Grey Havens.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
Viggo Mortensen. Well, my favorite character, like my secondary favorite character is Aragorn, but my primary favorite character is Samwise Gamgee.
I think it's hard to go against Sam. It's a really strong vote.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have one. I don't really. People ask me about Star Wars and stuff too. My favorite, and I just kind of name some that I think are cool, but I don't necessarily like have a favorite that I really attach to. And kind of same with Lord of the Rings. Frodo Sam, the Frodo Sam combo.
Yeah.
Which ones that smokes the reefer? Pippin?
Yeah, either one of the.
Yeah, they're funny.
Yeah.
The one that doesn't sing, I think, smokes
Mary
the
or
reefer.
Pippin.
I think it's Pippin, and I think he sings, and I think he smokes the elfish reefer, and he says, "What about a second breakfast?" And I like that. I like second breakfast a lot.
Dominic Monaghan.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
maybe. I like second breakfast.
Billy Boyd and Dominic Monaghan. I don't know which one played which.
Billy Boyd's a little more rounder face, maybe. That's the only way I can tell the difference between them. One's a little bit more rounder, and then one sings.
Billy Boyd is the one that sings.
Oh, then maybe he's not as
because he made up a song. He one of them.
I like them. I like them just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Gandalf. It's hard not to like him. I kind of like Gollum because he's kind of psycho.
One of my issues with Gandalf, however, is that like his powers only know what he's thinking or he's going to do or whatever.
That's why I kind of like him. I think.
I'm frustrated by characters in anything where somebody has information and if they shared that information, it would change things.
What about like Qui-Gon then? Because Qui-Gon, I feel like that similar guy. Because that's what like the Gray Jedi is similar to Gandalf.
I never got into Qui-Gon.
No, but I'm saying that's maybe you don't like him because of that.
He was Qui-Gon too quickly is the issue.
Poor Qui-Gon. Yeah, I would say Samwise is he's so lovable. He's so hardworking.
He's
so
the
loyal.
heart of the whole thing.
He is. But I like Frodo too. I feel bad for Frodo, and I think he's good. You know.
Boromir before the turn.
Yeah,
is probably my number 3.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, even
probably Faramir number 3.
I liked in the books. I liked Legolas.
Yeah.
In the movies, I wanted to punch him in the face.
Yeah, the actor, just because the actor.
Yeah, but probably. Yeah, you should probably just line up next to Tom Cruise and let me punch them both.
Okay.
But as a character, Legolas is sick. Oh, what's his name? Gimli's sick too. I like Gimli. He adds a little bit of the humor in there too, but he doesn't mean to be funny. He's just kind of grumpy.
Well, the actor's also grumpy, so that
it's good. I mean, they're just such good movies. I think that's actually why I like those movies a lot, because there's a lot of characters you can kind of like.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars, there's no character that, everyone hates Jar Jar Binks. I kind of like Jar Jar Binks. I think he's kind of funny. I like Darth Maul. I like Obi. The only one I actually hate is Teenage Anakin. He deserves to get in my line of punching.
I think every version of Anakin, it needs.
You
to
don't like
punched.
baby Anakin?
No,
I like little baby Anakin. All right.
No, he's precocious in such an awkward, annoying way.
I like deep end Anakin too. Right before the switch, he's kind of ornery.
Well, people didn't like Wesley Crusher in Star Trek: The Next Generation because he knew too much.
Yeah.
I don't like Anakin because he knows too much for a kid that age and talks all the time.
I think it reminds me of me. I think
maybe so.
But
you didn't become Darth Vader though.
Not yet.
I have the high ground. So
Obi's so good. Obi's probably my favorite. Obi and Darth Maul, and Yoda.
I was Obi-Wan in the episode 4, the original Star Wars, the real Star Wars. Again, another character that knew too more than he was saying in a way that would, and not even the whole Luke is
tons of stuff. He knew everything.
Yeah, he knew everything.
Yeah,
exactly. Not even in retrospect, like in the moment, he knew everything.
Yeah. He's wise.
Yes,
he's wise. Yeah, no answer on the Lord of the Rings, I guess. I mean, there's answers, but
you don't have any.
Yeah, all of them. I like them all.
You like them all.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll double down on your Samwise if I have to.
Yeah, Samwise.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you talk about more about the bars at your gym? So 3rd Street Barbells, Sacramento, California. 2 things. Shout out to one of the coolest partners we've worked with.
I have a visual.
I know. Oh, there it is. Aleco Barbell. Aleco. I don't really care how you say it, but basically the Ferrari Lamborghini of barbells, if you guys don't know. We partnered up with them to supply you guys some content and also to supply our gym members with some barbells. So if you've been in weightlifting, powerlifting for any amount of time, you kind of know the prestige that come with these barbells, how durable they are, how good they feel, and they really are not even the gold standard of barbells. They're the elite ultimate level. There's some things in this world, not to bash companies, but like a Nike, where it has like this prestige, but Nike's really just kind of the gold standard. They're actually more just like the median of what a good sneaker is, right? They're good. Aleco surpasses that in so many ways. I know it sounds like I'm reading off a teleprompter. I'm not. But going into barbells. Yeah, they sent us 2 really cool barbells. They sent us a powerlifting, basically a practice bar, and the only difference there is that the knurling isn't as crazy, so you can do some volume, you can do some reps with it, and you won't gnaw off your hands. Where their competition bar, same durability, same quality. It's just the knurling's a little bit harsher because you're only hitting singles in competition. And then same idea with the weightlifting bar. They gave us a nice Olympic weightlifting bar that has similar textures, a little bit whippier, obviously, for weightlifting, and the sleeves spin a little bit better for weightlifting. Knurling is good, really high quality, but still just won't rip your absolute titties off. And so we have some bumpers on the way as well, just to supply our team with that. So shout out to Alico for that. And those are, again, like the best bars you could probably get in any sport ever. They're durable, they'll last forever, they feel great. But we have multiple bars here. We have some quote-unquote like beater bars. We have some Texas Power bars that are solid. We have good pieces of equipment.
Yeah, 3 really nice bars from Kabuki.
Yeah, we have a great Kabuki Transformer Bar, which I've been using a lot and getting a lot of questions. Basically, the Kabuki Transformer Bar took leverages from all the main barbell squat variations and put them into a hands-free version. So the most typical one is a safety squat bar, which many people haven't used but have probably seen. It has the pad that kind of U-turns around your neck, and it kind of emulates a front squat in some senses, where it'll pitch you a little bit more forward. You can stay a little bit more upright. It puts a little bit more into your quads and back than a typical squat. Upper back makes it very difficult and kind of pitches you forward coming out of the hole. And so on the Transformer Bar by Kabuki, you can literally adjust and change the angle of the lever arm where you hang your weights. On top of that, you can choose where you put the weights further or closer to your body, basically your center point, to make it less or more difficult. It has a goblet squat feature, which is the furthest away, which is much like holding a dumbbell into your chest, which is a great way to get quads again, stay upright, get a good workout in with not adding a lot of weight, because it becomes very difficult. It's kind of furthest away from your body. Something that I use often to teach people how to squat to begin with. If you hold something in front of you, a plate, dumbbell, kettlebell, it allows most people to hit deeper depth with just... Is deeper depth a word?
Okay.
Is it? Yeah.
Greater depth?
Sure. Well, feeling really good. They have a front squat feature, which I did a whole cycle of. Feels really, really good. Feels very similar. Really works your midsection and your quads, obviously. Then the safety squat bar. And these all are in order, not only by like difficulty, but how much maybe it allows you to stay upright. Then they have like a high bar, a low bar, and then they have one called hinge, which is kind of for good mornings, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So that's like the big toy here, if we have like a toy, because that bar can be used in so many ways, no matter who you're training, how you're training, from strength and conditioning to your conjugate boys. You can really, it's really, really versatile and high quality. We have a trap bar by them, which is open-ended on one end, so you can really do some lunges, stiff legs, single legs, all that stuff, and not get bumped or trapped in by the hex bar.
Yeah, another very versatile bar.
Super versatile. I'm not a huge trap bar guy personally, but again, I'm not training multiple things like a lot of people. So if you're into lunges, if you're into a little bit more athletic style training, that's a great option.
We have a squat bar from Kabuki as well,
which is the gold standard, again, in the top level of powerlifting. Most competitions that are non-USAPL or IPF affiliated will use a squat bar, especially for the upper weight classes. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit more knurly, a little bit tougher, and will handle more plates than your typical bar with less whip. So for the big boys that like to squat, or if you compete in a federation that uses those bars, we have that as well as any other kind of bar you can, throw around. We got, practice weightlifting bars. We got some regular power bars you can use for anything on top of all our machines. But that's the majority of our stuff. Eventually, we might dig into some other things. But we built this place for everyone, but we built it based on our taste in a way. And so we want to have the highest quality stuff, again, with the Alico, the Kabuki, that you can use. And there are other bars that people flash around. There's these spider bars and cambered bars and all these things, but I think the application starts to kind of have diminishing returns, and there's less people that use it. So we may upgrade, we may get there, but they're definitely not necessary for you to build the best physique or best strength you want. And that's kind of our goal here, is to give you the tools to build those things.
Yeah, we also received a waffle iron from Alico. Some people do not know.
Happy Waffle Day.
Happy Waffle Day is tomorrow. Check our socials for waffle-related content tomorrow. But they started off as a small electrical appliance company and pivoted hard into weightlifting at some point. and they sent us a cool waffle iron. Not really one of theirs, I don't think, but it looks like one of the ones that they made back in the 50s.
Yeah, I think they just stopped. I read a little bit more history on it, and I think in like 1957, which is actually super cool. Again, going to people that like innovate or change or like just hone in on what they're about. Alico basically invented knurling.
Yeah.
In 1957, bars were bending everywhere in the gym, and you couldn't grip onto them well. And they saw the texture from the old school waffle iron that they made, shrunk it basically, and put it on the grippy part of a barbell, and made waffle style knurling that will allow you to grip the bar better without slipping, and made the bars more durable so they don't bend every time you use them.
Yeah, I don't want to hit this too hard, but these bars are beautiful, and we haven't figured out exactly how our members are going to have access to them. I think
fuck them, dude, just for me.
I think you may have to leave us with a significant deposit or something like and during staffed hours only.
Not a bad idea. Yeah, we'll see, because they're expensive bars, they're valuable bars, they're durable, so it is worth them using it. But I would just cry if I come in here and someone's rack pulling.
I would too. I'd have to, we're close to the river. Somebody might not actually come back from there.
Give them some cement shoes.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I don't know where we were going. But yeah, so they invented the knurling, and then I think in the 60s they basically started to slowly switch over to a full fitness company. And again, they've been in the Olympics and powerlifting world competitions for years now. So excited to have those here. You ready to get deep, Jimbo?
Sure.
These are maybe step side by sides.
Okay.
What are you looking forward to this year? We're reaching into quarter 2.
Yeah.
It's a good question. And if you could have anything in life by this time next year, what would you have? What would you want to have? I think these are really good questions. It's kind of cliche because how people send these notes out on the internet, but they do say, like, you underestimate what you could maybe do in 5 or 10 years, and you overestimate maybe what you could do in a day. And so I think those are the first things that kind of pop into my head when this happens: is what's doable, and what are the realistic goals, in quarter 2, 3, 4 for you, me, personal or business. I guess I just always go business when I hear these things. I don't know why. Maybe that's because I'm obsessed. And then same thing with a year from now. Like what does that look like for most people? And if you guys have never set goals out there, we talked about, I think, one of the first episodes of this year, some of our approaches maybe to setting goals and what you should look like. Even if you don't write them down, if you have something general in your head, I do think it helps the day-to-day process of how you move.
Yeah, goals versus plans, I think is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, one of the biggest things, I have no idea when it's going to be possible, but I want to see my grandkids. They're 3,000 plus miles away. That is very significant to me.
Yeah, it's a good goal.
I get to talk to them every week on FaceTime, and they're a lot of fun, and they're a handful and whatever, but they're very, very far away.
Yeah.
And right
different
now,
country.
Yeah, different country. And if I wanted to go see them now, it would cost me like 17 days coming and going, not even counting the time of actually visiting. So
and I looked up flights just for shits and gigs. Not that I'm going anywhere. And it's not like it's that cheap.
No,
if it was like $50, you know what I mean? I think you could start to justify those 17 days of quarantine, but it's like the same price.
Yeah,
it's kind of the same.
Yeah,
you're like, well, now I'm definitely not.
Looking forward to be fully vaccinated. That'd be nice. I don't understand when there's anyway. I could go deep on this, but this is my stance. I'm getting vaccinated, and I'm looking forward to being in that position and not being excuse me, I'm gonna cough now. Quite so concerned. I should have gotten water for myself. Quite so concerned about mingling with people. However, we've been very safe for a year. I'm looking forward to, from a business standpoint, being able to have a meaningful event that we can bring the community into. I'm definitely looking forward to that. We're trying to do that in June. We'll see. But part of the whole baked-in concept of this gym is being able to do, events and have people be in good company. That's, and have enough people here at one time that more often, it's happening more often now, but people are able to watch each other lift and
train together,
and encourage one another and all that stuff. That was part of the plan.
Yeah.
that has been pushed off somewhat because kind of the way that it's worked out, given our schedule, is that people space themselves out so they don't, and I've said this before. Actually, I think I said this on Bridge to Bridge, and that episode is not out yet. But the people that we get in here are very serious about what they're doing.
Yeah.
They are busy the whole time they're here, and I think that's maybe a model of the pandemic. Yeah. And to a certain degree, get in, get out
with like a purpose.
Yeah, move with a purpose the whole time.
I think maybe even the style of gyms like that too, where like you can be like social, but you can still get after it. Where the typical commercial gym, like the joke or the meme of people sitting on a machine for an hour on their phone. Yeah, it's just not a thing here. There's social time and there's phone time, and not that we don't post on Instagram and not that we don't do these things, but you move with a purpose.
Yeah,
I don't know what mine are. Business-wise, it always ties in because my life is my business. And my business is my life. Unlike Jimbo, I don't have grandkids. I don't got a wifey. I don't really have much of that. And family is obviously very important to me, but I do a decent job of doing that already. Mm-hmm. Like, mom's starting to low-key work for us, and I see her when I can. So that's part of my year goals on my goal board, to always make that a priority. But it's not as not urgent, but not as in my face as your situation. Like, I want to do this and I can't do this. So for me, it's mostly just opening up what I do. And so I think quarter 2, 3, 4 of this year, which we're already implementing for the company, goes into kind of freeing up space and time for me to not only do what I enjoy, but I think what I'm good at, which is creating. Whether that be our apparel or our content or whatever. And so we're starting to put the pieces of the puzzle together so I can do that. And that's a big goal of mine. And Jim's been super helpful and supportive of putting those pieces in play, employees and et cetera, growing that. So I guess scaling in some senses and allowing me to step back from an everyday role, which is the long-term goal probably for me in a year from now, to completely set my own schedule. And obviously, when you run a business, certain things come up and you just have to do them. And I'm always there, and I've always done that for all my companies. But stepping away from more desk hours, which we're already adjusting to. But a year from now, I'd almost like to do none, just because I don't think that's what I'm best at. I think I'd be better lifting and hanging out and spotting people and building that culture and creating that culture and creating the apparel and putting more time into those. Even the thought of the content we make, YouTube, Instagram, here. And in turn for that kind of like creates the life I want. So that's the goal, right? Like slowly edge towards the life you want. And for me, again, my life is my business. So to get more into the creative, less in the administrative, although that's always there and it'll always be there no matter what. You pay your taxes, no matter what you're making policies. I'm prepared for that. But even over the last 5 months that we've been opened, you and I have not stepped away from those roles, but we've just put them in place so we don't have to deal with them as much. Yeah. Right, and that's been a beautiful thing to see and do. But other than that, I don't know. Find out what's next. Always be open to opportunities. As this has consumed your life, both of our lives, it will for a long time. But the more, again, policies you set up and scaling you do and employees you have and people you trust, the more your mind can do other things. So whether that's with this company, with another company, life opportunity, travel, whatever it might be, just allow myself, as the world starts, to turn a little bit, to see more opportunity, even if I say no to all of it, but just to see it again, because we've been laser focused and the world closed at the same time. Right. I think those are my only goals, really, in terms of that. I don't know. Because some people are like, I want to buy a house and whatever, and I've been there. I wanted to buy a house by when I was 30. I did that. So I have other goals of that nature probably in a year, but those are more like 5-10 year goals, I think.
Yeah, and I think that I thought we were talking about this yesterday, that if, when we're less concerned about the sort of day-to-day survival of what we're doing here and approach some level of success, there are other things I would like to invest in the community. There are things there are things to do that would be awesome. Right. And, money making things and charitable things. Right.
Again, the many opportunities. We can't create these opportunities always because we're dug in here. Right. And although we're getting freer with our brains and our times, that's kind of where that was a much more precise version of what I'm thinking. And step aside. Simple one, Jimbo. Is your gym open to the public?
Our gym is open to the public. I don't understand exactly what a private gym is.
I don't either.
People say, it's a private gym or a private training
I guess
studio.
invite only.
Maybe.
Or personal training, because I do think
personal training is different for sure.
Well, I think that's what this niche gym style, and it kind of used to be too. Not that it was private, but it was classes right back in the day. And so I think that style of gym, you have commercial gym, and then you have private gym.
Yeah.
And people don't know the in between.
Right.
We're not a commercial gym. We're a boutique gym, for lack of a better term, or a niche gym.
Right.
But it's built in. What's boutique mean? Because it comes with like a bougie sense.
Yeah, boutique is it's a usually elevated,
right?
Smaller audience.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be that bougie guy, but we are that bougie guy. But yeah, so we're a boutique gym that's open to anyone and everyone who wants to get better, improve themselves with the barbell or physical fitness. That's our goal. Our background's obviously weightlifting, powerlifting, strength sports, and so we have that crowd here that like to compete and push themselves. But if you're looking to be around like-minded individuals that like to have a good time and get better, this spot is for you. 3rd Street Barbell, 3sb.co, and that's kind of built into everything we do. So, yes, it's open to the public. Yes, we're open. Yes, you can come by. All our info's on the website or Instagram.
You will actually love this definition. This is definition number 2 is a business or establishment that is small and sophisticated or fashionable.
Sophisticated and fashionable I like, because that doesn't have to be bougie. You know, like I say that too. Like, and there's memes going around. I just saw one today. I should have screen capped it, but like they show, some chick that looks like she's in LA wearing all Gucci and Prada and all this stuff and says poor over her head, right? And then it says some celebrity like dressed in sweats said this person is rich, right? And same idea I like to think is like you don't have to be rich or spend a lot of money to be fashionable. Style doesn't have a price point. Like it has to do with like your creativity and how you express it.
Yeah.
Like my clothes, well, this was free, thanks Omar. But even underneath is like a 10-year-old vintage shirt I bought for $20.
Yeah.
Obviously our sweats, which were also free. But point being is that I think I can be very fashionable and express myself and make things match and look cool and look good and feel good about it and how I look in them. And I've never bought a $100 T-shirt. Just because you can buy a $100 T-shirt doesn't mean you're fashionable or look good.
Yeah, have I talked about this? My theory about why rich people buy expensive things, because they have too much disposable income, and so they have to spend. Everybody's gonna buy certain things, right? You're gonna buy a car, you're gonna buy a house, you're gonna buy clothes, whatever.
Yeah, but then what do you do?
Yeah, if you have too much money, then you just spend more money on those things because. It turns into fucking Brewster's Millions after a while.
Not only that, but then you I think people do that with cars too. Like, and I probably offended some people when I did like my dream car and I posted my $9,000 30-year-old BMW. But like you make up for your lack of taste or fashion or sophistication with a price point. Yeah. Right? Like I like cars. I love an E30. That's why I bought one. It was $9,000. Yeah. Most people's cars that's listening to the show probably cost more than $9,000.
Probably
right?
So.
You know what I mean? It's not like, man, I got money and I want to show that I have taste. I'm gonna go buy this ugly ass expensive car, which is like you said, like very common. And whether it's social whatever norm status, I don't really care or need that, and I don't need that with my clothes either. Yeah. Big meeting, small meeting, fancy restaurant, not. I'm probably gonna wear my same outfit.
My current vehicle is my favorite car ever that I've ever owned, and it cost me $25,000.
Right,
so
right. Because you like it, you like cars, you like what this car had to offer, not because of the price point of that car.
It's fast, but I'm not going to mod it. I don't drive that fast that often, but I can if I need to.
Yeah,
it's fun to drive in the hills, whatever.
Yeah. What do we got? Want to get my personal training business online? Any advice?
Boy, I don't have any advice there other than. Trust yourself over somebody you're going to buy a course from, because those people are out to sell you, and some of those people actually have no business really to speak of at all other than trying to sell you something. Yeah. So
to sell business.
Yeah, I mean, this it really comes back to what we were saying before last week or I think it was last week, that if you are, yes, it was last week. If you're starting a business, you need to know what that business is about, and you know what you bring to it that's different than other people, and you need to know who you're trying to sell to. And if you can answer those questions, the methods are all pretty much out there. None of those things are a mystery, and the first few questions are the ones that only you can answer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I was going to kind of go is you have to bring value to where you want to go. So if you want to be a coach at 3rd Street Barbell and you're approaching me in gym, we don't have coaches, by the way. This is an analogy, metaphors. If come to me in gym in a meeting and tell us how you bring value to our community, right? If you want to make money and do business online, how can you create an audience by giving value to an audience online? It starts to be a different audience than you at your commercial gym or you wherever, right? At a commercial gym, it's easy because you're giving, example here, and this is like kind of cliche stuff they teach you when you're a personal trainer at a commercial gym, which I was for 6 years, but like re-rack weights, walk the floor, give tips, be nice. If someone asks you a question, help them for free, right? Same kind of stuff online, but now obviously your audience is broader. And like Jim said, not only why or who, what niche you fit online, but I would ask yourself even deeper, why do you want to go online? Is it just because you think you can scale and make more money? Yeah. And that's fine, but know how and why you're doing that. Know that actually it gets more difficult because there's more online coaches also. If you find a really cool niche gym, boutique gym in your neighborhood, you might be the only coach there. And now all of a sudden, right, it's not as condensed as it is online with so many different coaches. But know why you're doing it for yourself, know why you're doing it for the niche online. Be honest with yourself. And then how do you give value and how do you build some kind of an audience there? Because everyone says that, like, dude, you can charge so much more and all you do is write an email a week. Well, if that's the reason you want to be an online coach as opposed to in person, good luck. Good luck.
If you're looking for a cheap and easy way to make a lot of money,
buy lottery tickets.
Good luck with that, because there's always work. I got this very same question from somebody a couple of weeks ago, and this person had lost a lot of weight and kept it off. Excuse me. This is the problem with it. Now I'm not going to cough. Now I'm going to burp. I'm so sorry. Diet Coke will get you every time. I'll probably edit that out. Anyway, had lost a lot of weight. Actually looks good. Has kept the weight off. Is a good-looking guy. Presents well. Does a lot of straight talking to the camera videos with information about fitness and whatever. And he's like, what do I need to do? It's like, well, I can't think of anything that you need to do that you're not already doing. You just need to keep doing it.
Yeah, because there's a little bit of luck involved with everything you do.
Yeah,
right.
And some of it, like the longer you do something, the more you understand which things have value and which things bring you clients. And for a lot of people, the most cost-effective thing to do for building a client base is word of mouth.
Yeah.
So, offer incentives to the people that you're currently training and get them, bring them in,
Coach your best friend for free, do a good job, and he's going to tell his friend, and he's going to tell his wife, and then his boyfriend, and then his girlfriend, and then blah, 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 blah.
But I think that the thing you should not do is, if you're trying to develop any business like that, is don't throw yourself entirely into it. Like, have some kind of income.
Right. Well,
so you're not desperate and you're not doing desperate and stupid things like that, and like DMing a bunch of people blindly.
Probably not.
And pitching them. It's like, you need to have the confidence to be able to say, hey, I do this thing and I'm pretty good at it, and I think I could help you. That's different than getting into somebody's DMs and the third message is a pitch.
Right. Yeah. I think too, and how you phrase the question makes it seem that you have in-person training also, because it says move online. Because if you're just trying to coach online because you think Fitspo and Instagram's cool, it's not. And then two, hopefully, that would be my advice to anyone trying to be a quote-unquote coach online or content creators, coach in person first. And then this guy, if you do coach in person, like Jim said, why not do both? And what's your why? If it is just to create more time, I understand that, because, you can critique multiple videos and write multiple programs in an hour, where typically you're dealing with one person in an hour in person. But you can find different ways to do that too. You can do small group training in person. There's a lot of different ways to be creative and make money while still adding value. And that's part of the niche I think you need to make yourself is how not niche yourself out like, I'm the kettlebell guy. Like, niche yourself out as in, like, I give the most value for my $10 for half an hour of my time.
Yeah. 2 other thoughts. One of them is maybe you need to work for somebody else doing online training for a while.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That will tell you whether or not you actually have the temperament for it.
Or like it, yeah.
Or like it, because not everybody does.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a lot less fulfilling.
Yeah, because you're not seeing the results in the same way. You have to have a personality that fits with that. And then another one I would say is look at the people who are actually successful and not try to mimic what they do, mimic what they did that capitalizes on their personality and their strengths, and figure out what thing that is your strength that you can capitalize on the same way. I got to look at somebody like Jordan Syatt.
Yeah,
Jordan Syatt is not someone with an advanced education in training, other than what he did himself. So he doesn't have a degree in whatever. I don't know if he has any certifications. I
think he did to begin with, and he did some internships.
Yeah, but he did a bunch of a very self-directed, like autodidact kind of stuff. He didn't. It's not like
he's not a PhD.
No, exactly not. But PhDs refer to things he says because he's very intuitive about how people actually operationalize fitness in their lives.
Right, and absorb the content that he puts out rather than talking about anatomy. He talks about realistic application.
Yeah. So, I mean, Jordan is somebody that we like because it's not bullshit.
Yeah.
Things he says are not bullshit.
Yeah, they're based in evidence, but he doesn't feed you articles.
Right. Yeah, I work with Lane on his podcast, and Lane references Jordan relatively often because it's so his advice is so brass tacks.
Yeah.
And, find that thing for yourself. And if you don't have one, we talked about it last week. If you don't have a thing, then maybe not. This is not your thing.
Right. Well, that's part of the whole nature of any business or anything. Like, you kind of have to, like, do the work and kind of eat shit for a while. And I know that's, like, a typical term. Like, I don't mean you have to be broke and sleeping in a closet, but, like, to run a gym, you probably have to work at the lowest totem pole of a gym at some point. You have to sweep, you have to mop, I've done all that. To be a coach, you have to take the crappy client. You have to learn from those experiences of not getting paid much, someone taking all your money, and you handling very difficult people. To train to train LeBron James, you have to train the middle-aged person that doesn't want to be at the gym and find a way to find them success, to work your way up. And not that someone hasn't just gotten their certificate and trained pro athletes. They probably have, but that's an anomaly. That's N equals 1. That's not the likelihood. So you can learn from all these little experiences, and obviously that's a cliche too. Like, there is no failure. There's just lessons I learned along the way. There's definitely failure out there.
With that.
Yeah, but you can really learn from everything if you look at it at those opportunities. And sometimes that's years. I'm still learning. I'm 12 years into the fitness industry, being a coach, being a business person, and I'm constantly still, again, going back to our last metaphor of, like, guiding my ship in different ways and navigating how I approach things and how I talk to people and how I create content and how I communicate different concepts to different people. So it's a long journey that never really stops. And that goes to, whether you enjoy it even. Don't just hop in because you think it's pure opportunity.
Right.
Because if you enjoy it, the people, you can tell, going to Jordan's a great example. You can tell, like, Jordan likes making content. He makes funny content. He always seems happy on there. Like, it's not fake. And I've hung out with him in person. And obviously, I'm sure there's times he doesn't want to turn on the camera and talk to it, as every creator.
Yeah, in case he has some of the same anxiety shit that you and I do.
Yeah, like, that's the whole world. But he wouldn't put so much of himself into it if he didn't enjoy it. Right. And you can feel that from the world. So make sure, and that you can feel that from a client can feel that from you too. If you're sending half-assed emails, if you're not responding on time, all these things. So not that I'm the guy that says you must chase your dream job only and build the life you want to live and all that, but you will be better at your job if you enjoy it, for sure. The rest of the questions suck. You guys suck at asking questions.
No other good questions?
There's a lot of, like, injury questions and stuff, and, like, everything. I would just refer to a doctor or PT. I'm not going to answer those online, why you hurt your shoulder, pec, or knee or ankle, because all you gave me is 4 words. How do I fix my ankle? I don't know what the hell's wrong with your ankle.
You need to go to someone who actually produces that kind of content and ask them. And
a professional. And chances are you're probably in this, talking about being you're just being a pussy. A lot of you don't know what pain is. And so just because you kind of stubbed your toe and twisted your ankle, you'll be fine. There's no miracle product that's going to fix it, no miracle workout that's going to fix it. Just walk around on it as much as you can. Don't cause more pain, and you'll probably be fine in a couple days. And if you're not okay in a couple days, then definitely go to a professional. And that's how you judge whether you're injured or you just have a little bit of pain. We all have a little bit of pain.
I did want to actually I'm doing a QA pass on Lane's episode for this week. I don't remember the name of the guest, so forgive me, guest. But is talking about a study that was done on time-restricted eating. And this guy is
intermittent fasting eating.
Yeah, this guy's he was a fan of intermittent fasting, and he set out to do a study that kind of proved that intermittent fasting works better.
Yeah.
And that's not really what it shows.
Physiologically or adherence-wise?
Everything.
Oh, interesting.
So anyway, I'm highly recommending that people listen to that episode. On a episode-by-episode basis, Lane typically gets more downloads than we do, so I don't know why I'm promoting him. I should be making him promote me. But anyway, my point being that sometimes you go into a situation with a bias and you're trying to prove a particular thing, and what you end up finding out is that you were confused about the reality.
Yeah, I wonder how often, though, that person would change their mind.
Well, and that's the thing. The question is if you were open-minded enough to go,
no. I don't think evidence is enough for the majority of people to open their minds.
You could be right.
Yeah, just based on things I read on Twitter and Instagram, and even in our community, which you would think is fairly evidence based, whatever that might mean on Instagram, I still just see myths and shit, or things I read online. Like everyone's like 10% there, like they know calories matter, but they don't know why or how, or they'll say calories matter, but you got to eat broccoli and not asparagus. Like what? Like it's always, I don't know what. No one, like we've talked about either. You've never just convinced someone of something. If you're for gun or anti-gun, I've never gone to you and said, don't buy guns. And then all of a sudden you're like, you're right, I'm not going to buy guns.
Yeah,
guns, I don't deserve
convince anybody of anything.
It's never happened. Most people double down on what they're doing, and that's why I'm just ask questions to people, and I can actually do try to consider myself open-minded. And like, all right, well, if that, but then, and wiggle around these things. But I would just be surprised if someone is so intermittent fasting you could throw every I mean, if it were the case, then like all these like keto zealots and intermittent fasting and drink this powder and apple cider vinegar is still a thing. Like those wouldn't exist. Yeah. Evidence shows us it's not doing shit for you, but people are still on this train because they don't care about evidence, or maybe they'd rather listen to Suzanne Summers. They would rather listen to Suzanne Summers' diet advice than read evidence. Or they'll, even if they do read both, well, Susan says, all right, you're right, Miss Summers.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there, and I think that's true. I think that probably a good half of the industry wouldn't exist if people...
No, way more. Way more.
75%?
More.
90%?
I think the Lane Norton, us, the Jordan Syeds, we're 5% of the actual industry. I mean, fitness industry is what?
Helms,
no, they're the best. They're the best, and that's why I'm glad we're in this niche and that we're slowly spreading. But I think it's 9. I mean, what is the industry? $2 billion industry or something? Like, the fitness industry and health. I guess you might have to define those is different, but yeah, it's fucking huge. You don't see Eric Helms and Lane Norton on Health magazine in the store or fitness, whatever. Yeah, they're not there. It's some either juiced out person or it's some soccer mom, Suzanne Summers.
Well, despite being
shake weights, shake weights made more money than me, you, Eric Helms, and Lane have ever put together. And
it was all based on bullshit. That's the
there's
thing.
zero.
But people, oh my god, yeah, like Okay, here's one. The whole blood glucose continuous glucose monitoring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the science is really not there on that.
No.
For if you're not a diabetic,
or if it is there, it's misinterpreted.
Yeah.
Because there is something to the glucose index, but like it's tested on fasted folks.
Right.
Otherwise, white potatoes would be very bad for you, according to them.
But people who are diabetics are using continuous glucose monitoring.
Yeah.
It is very good for keeping them out of trouble.
They're playing a different game than we are.
But if you're talking about optimizing, who knows?
Yeah, they're playing a different game than we are.
And the devices are just not accurate enough to give you that kind of information. And blood sugar is a very wiggly thing. It's very mercurial.
Yeah. Well, and what they do is that people are looking at like the micro of that. They're looking at the micro interaction of eating white potato on a fasted human being and your acute blood sugar response. But humans don't work that way. We don't work in 30-second increments.
Yeah.
What you ate yesterday, what's in your gut, did you move, did you not move, right? Like it's a 24-hour continuous thing that affects how our body reacts to different things.
Yeah.
The same idea as the cleanse. How many there's more cleanses that make more money and are more popular in the industry than our niche. Just cleanses alone.
I'm sure that's true.
Yeah, it's insane.
But I mean,
you drive around town here. There's like 6 different juice cleanse stores with storefronts.
Yeah.
Really, we know how much expensive it is to open a business here.
Yeah.
Like they got to be selling cleanses to somebody.
Yeah. Well, and sort of the bottom line of a cleanse is that like after you've taken all the dumps, then your gut kind of feels a little good because it's empty. There's no pressure.
Sure.
Whatever.
And you only drink juice for a week, and you've been eating Mickey D's nuggets. Yeah, you probably lose some weight.
Yeah. but feeling better and actually being healthier are different things.
Right.
Because feeling better is very much like an emotional response to a condition.
It's just so not logical.
Yeah.
Like you've been eating McDonald's once a week for 10 years. And you think 6 days of carrot juice is just going to make you skinnier, healthier, and look better?
It's not gonna really fix anything. There isn't a short. I don't know. See, this is the problem. Like all of the money is in fooling people.
No, 100% it is. In everything, in every aspect, and probably other industries that we just don't know as well too. And cars are the same thing.
Yeah,
like all of it's like that.
Well, what's crazy is the whole continuous glucose monitoring thing. Like, I don't even think it's the companies that make those monitors who are behind.
Maybe not.
The fascination with it. I was
maybe not.
talking recently to someone who was like, and I said, hey, like this is who was like really like, I think I want to do that. I want to try that. It's like, yeah, but you realize that like you're not the right person,
right?
Because
it's not made for you.
Yeah, it's not made for you. And it's like, yeah, but I think and there's like and the monitoring isn't great. Shout out to Kevin Bass, who I got this from. Regardless, you're not going to actually learn anything. It's like, yeah, but I think I'd really like to try it.
Go ahead, dude. Go ahead, Timmy.
That's fine. Knock yourself out. But it's not.
More than placebo and how you can control your mind.
Right.
We can convince ourselves. Psychology, everyone would be like, oh, psychology is not a science. Oh, fuck you. Psychology shows and proves that we can make an argument and prove anything to ourselves. We can change our own minds on everything. We obviously change memories. That's something very well known.
Oh, yeah.
We hide, suppress, and change them, or purposely or not.
Yeah.
And so you can easily convince yourself, like, carrot juice made me feel better, look how hot I am now, or this glucose monitor made me, oh my God, my blood sugar is great now, look at me, I ran a mile in 10 seconds faster because of this glucose. Like, you can convince yourself of all these things if you
literally physiological changes from placebo. So it's like,
yeah, even if you know, there's studies that show if you know it's a placebo, the placebo effect still works.
Right. So
we're all fucked, and you're a bunch of idiots out there. Not you guys listening, but probably everyone you know.
Not specifically you. But,
no, but use.
Yeah.
My dad used to say use guys.
Use guys?
I don't know if that's a Midwest thing.
He was from
Ohio? I think Ohio gets the shit from Boston and Chicago.
Maybe.
And so the accent's right there in the middle.
Use guys sounds very...
Like Wisconsin-y, maybe?
No, it sounds very New York to me.
Well, they're right there in the middle. And then Pennsylvania, I think you get all of it. I think you get all the shit accents.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm going to go eat lunch.
All right. we're gonna wrap this one up.
So probably media review next week. Appreciate you guys as always. 3sb.co. Check it out. Shout out to Eleiko for taking care of your boys. Check them out at eleiko.com. They have a bunch of different products, kind of anything you want. But if you want the best, train with the best. That's probably what you should look at. I'm Silent Mike, anywhere you want to find me. 3rd Street Barbell on Instagram with a 3RD Street Barbell. New content coming there soon, and new clothing drop within the month. So within 4 weeks, teasers coming soon. Appreciate you guys.
I am at the Jimmy D on all the social medias. This show is 50% fact.